game night, date night. So game night, date night is in collaboration with Games and Couples. Games and Couples concentrate on couple counseling, utilizing board game as a main tool to help couples connect, reconnect, or stay connected. And I think that's just amazing. Now, one other thing that they've done is they've created a ranking system to help couples figure out which game might best suit their needs. And we rank on 3 different things. So the first thing is conversation and connection potential. Maybe coming together at the end of the day, playing a game is how a couple connect. And if that's how you catch up at the end of the day, you probably want something that's a little bit on the higher ranking here, just so that there is opportunities to have a conversation. While maybe things have been tense, you're just trying to spend quality time with each other, even though things are tense, but things can flare up easier. So you may want to keep conversation at a lower ranking here. So something with a lower rank might be more suitable for what meets your needs at that time. Now keep in mind, 1 is not bad and 5 is not good. It just depends on where you are as a couple. The second thing we rank on is on the getting to know you. So maybe this is a new relationship, or maybe this is a relationship where, there's been a pandemic and you're spending a lot more time with your partner, or the kids are moved out and all of a sudden you're kind of rediscovering who you're with. So having games where you get to learn a little bit more about your partner is probably going to be more suitable for you. While maybe this isn't something that's a big concern of yours because you guys have been together a fair amount of time and you feel you know each other pretty well, so it's not a big priority at this time. And the last thing that we rank on is on potential for hurt feelings and conflict. Let's face it, a lot of time when you play a board game, there's one winner. So that means it can be very competitive. And it can also have games that has a lot of take that element to it that can help, flare up some emotions if there's already some there. So having a lower ranking in that case might be best for you. Or maybe as a couple you're trying to work on your conflict resolution, and doing it in a safe environment as a board game might be best suitable for you. So you may want to look at something that has a little bit more of those type of elements for you. Just depends on where you are. And there are different things I'd like to talk about today. Let's talk about a few tips on how to make a game night into a date night. Last month, we've discussed a bunch of different games that were kind of thematic to the months of October. So a lot of spooky games or horror-themed games for the Halloween season. And that's one way of making a game kind of entertaining. This month, I've kind of concentrated on games that are more kind of cute artwork and appealing with great table presence. It's kind of interesting to take turn picking game, trying to kind of surprise each other with a really cute game. And these games might suit for that. So the first game that we talked about this past month is Abandon All Artichokes. So Abandon All Artichoke is a deck building game where you start with just artichokes in your deck. You'll have five cards in your hand, 5 cards in your draw pile, and all of them are artichoke cards. Now, artichoke cards do absolutely nothing. They just clutter your hand. But on your turn, you will draw a card from the market, and then you can play any cards that you have in your hand. So at first, you're going to draw a card, play that one, the rest are artichokes, and then you discard everything. Each other vegetable cards, however, have a different action that you can do. Maybe it allows you to draw an extra card. Maybe it allows you to compare a card with the other player to kind of see, and then one player gets them, or allows you to discard your cards. There's different things that can happen. The goal here is to try to get to the point where you've diluted the artichoke out of your deck enough so that when you draw 5 cards, there is no artichoke in there. The first player to do that wins the game. But let's have a look at the ranking system for this game. So on the conversation and connection potential, I've given this one a 4 out of 5. This is a fairly simple game. Draw a card, play some cards, and then you discard and kind of draw back up. So it's not something that's very complicated. It does allow a lot of opportunities to hold a conversation. In the getting to know you, I'm putting this one as a 2 out of 5. This is a fairly simple game, so there's not a whole lot of decision or complicated choices to make, so it's not one that's going to reveal a whole lot about your partner. And in the hurt feelings and conflict, I'm giving this one a 1 out of 5. There's you're kind of just trying to clear out your own hand here. So there's very little opportunity for conflict here. It's just a simple, cute game to play. Here's another picture of this game here. Like the broccoli is wearing sunglasses. The artwork here is just so adorable. So it looks just beautiful on the table. And the first time you play, you're just kind of looking at all the cards, and it's just a quick, entertaining evening with this game for sure. Now, the next game I talked about this past month is Creature Comfort. Now, I'd like to point out I'm in Alberta. The designer of Creature Comfort is actually local to Alberta as well, and I've met her a few times. So it's just neat to kind of know the background of this game. Now, one thing I gotta say about Creature Comfort is this game is adorable. You'll see in the picture here on the table, that's the first play marker, and it's a little worm, because early bird gets the worm. And then you play as one of the different animal from the forest, and you're playing through the 3 seasons of spring, summer, and autumn, trying to get ready for the winter season and trying to accumulate as many comforts as you can. Now, each comforts are worth points, so at the end of the game, whoever has the most point is the winner. So with this game, let's have a look quickly at the rating system. So for connection and conversation potential, I'm giving this one a 3 out of 5. There is some opportunity to have conversation because it's a bit of a turn-based. So when it's not your turn, you can kind of, have some conversation. On your turn, you'll be a little bit more busy kind of doing, placing your workers and all that sort of stuff. So it has some opportunity for conversation, not quite as much as some games. In the getting to know you, I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5. There is a lot going on with this one. So you're going to be picking on which location you want to try to activate. Then you're going to be rolling dice, trying to see if you have the proper dice to activate, because each location has a dice cost and that you'll have to assign dice to and activate those. And then you decide on which comfort you're trying to collect, but in order to do that, you need to have collected the necessary resources to pay for those comfort. And there's also some cards that allow you to kind of give you special abilities. So there's just a lot going on with it. It's not a really complicated game, I would say, but it has a lot of interesting decisions. So it's neat to see how your partner's what they're gonna concentrate on, what they're going for. Are they trying to create the combo? Or are they just trying to kind of go mass, get as much as possible? So that's neat. For hurt feelings and conflict, I'm gonna give this one a 1 out of 5. This is a worker placement game, and often what's frustrating with the worker placement game is that the action you're trying to do has been locked out by another player. What's neat with this game is that all the actions are available to everybody. So even though the other player has gone there, you still can go there as well. And as well, the dice are shared. So you take turn utilizing the dice that have been rolled for that turn. So just because they've used the 6 and the 5, it doesn't mean that those aren't going to be available to you. They will. So for hurt feelings and conflict, this one is really low. Let me show you another picture here. So this kind of a fuller picture of the board. So everybody gets their own personal board, and that's like your little home where you keep everything there, and you have all your workers there, and then you have all your resources, and everybody have 2 dice that are their own. What's interesting with this is you roll those dice before you place out your workers, so you know what 2 of the dice are going to be. But there are 4 other dice that haven't been rolled yet, so you don't know what those are, and you kind of take a chance on selecting the different location you'd like to activate, and you're hoping that hopefully you have the dice you need to activate them. Such a very neat game. Definitely a longer game. This will probably play an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if you're kind of giving into a lot of conversation. But it's an amazing way to fill in the night, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful looking game. Next one is Kodama. So Kodama is a game about building a tree, and when I first saw this, the look and the table presence is what sold me on this. It looks just so neat. So you have the big card that is the trunk of your tree, and you have a bunch of little cards that has a branch, and you add on to them. and you're trying to branch out and build your tree as much as possible, and you score the branch each time depending on all the matching symbol that you have going down the branch. This pays over 3 seasons as well, and you have the spring, the summer, and the fall card that'll come up. That'll kind of have different things that'll happen during those. It'll kind of activate something for that turn, but it's like a different way of scoring, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful game. But let's look at the rating system on this one. So for conversation and connection potential, I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5. This is a fairly simple game. It's not overwhelming, that it's fairly easy to do this decision. The decision was you're playing which card to play, where you're going to put it. So it's not going to be too cumbersome that you can't hold a conversation. You can easily have a conversation while playing this game. And then getting to know you, I'm giving this one a 1 out of 5, because you're playing on your own tree, the partner's playing and building their own tree, so there's very little game interaction, so it's not one where the game is going to have great big reveals about your partner. In the hurt feelings and conflict, again, I'm giving this one a 1 out of 5, because there is no interaction with the other player as far as the game is concerned. You're building your own thing. There's nothing that they'll do that will mess up your own tree, other than they may take a card that you were hoping to get, but that's fairly minor. Let me show you more pictures here. So you have the scoreboard that's in the middle, where you'll be keeping track of the points, because you score your branch each time you place one down. You have the 4 cards that's available for new branch that you're going to be adding to your tree. So, and this is interesting, because the trunk, it goes on the edge of the table, and you can't have your branches go below that. You also can't have branch overlap another branch if it's not part of the same branch. And if you, you'll be collecting points for each symbol that kind of represents down the way. So let's say you have at the trunk 3 fireflies, and then you've added a branch that has another one, and you've added a branch that has another 2. Now you're going to be scoring all those 6 fireflies when you place that branch. If there's ever an interruption, however, so let's say you had a cloud, no cloud, then 1 cloud and 2 clouds, let's say, you would score the clouds, but only for the 2 and 1 clouds, because that gap breaks that connection. So you only score as long as there's a connection all the way down to the trunk. And then you'll be scoring every symbol that is represented on those branches. So it's a very simple, honestly, it's a very simple game. You have these different Kodama spirit that you can activate at the end of each round that'll allow you an extra thing that you would score on. So maybe you're scoring on all the fireflies that are at the end of your branches, or different things like that, and you would select one each round. This one also has smaller, simpler ones for younger kids, if you ever end up playing this with a younger kid. But as I said, the table presence on this game is just so pretty. When you have your tree all built up, it's just very stunning looking on the table. And then the last game we talked about this month is Pina Pirata. This is a fairly new one we added to our collection this month, and it's quickly becoming a favorite. This is a fairly simple game to play. It plays a lot like Uno, as in you have a suit and you need to play a suit that matches. So if you have a turtle, you can play a card that has a turtle symbol on it, and so on. But it's all animal based, and the artwork is stunning. I love the look of these cards. The colors are bright. They're so entertaining to watch. Most cards have 2 symbols on it, where you'll have 2 animal represented. So if there's a turtle being played, then you could play your turtle penguin, or you could play your turtle parrot card, so and so on. Now there's always one card that will be just the one single animal, and you can play that on there as well. So that aspect of the game is very simple. Where it gets interesting is at the beginning of the game, everybody has a part of a treasure map. It's a quarter of a treasure map, and the goal is trying to collect the other 3 pieces so you have a full treasure map. We're pirates after all. But those tiles also on the other side have different rule changers. So it could be that all of a sudden, if you have a walrus, the walrus is wild, so you can play that on any other animals. Or it could be that if you play a turtle, the other player after you has to draw an extra card. Different things like that, and it changes the game all the time. Now, every time somebody managed to get rid of their last card, they win that round, they take 3 tiles and look at them. They'll add 1 to their treasure map. They'll discard 1, and the 3rd one gets added to the rules. So each time a player wins, an additional rule gets added, so the game becomes a little bit more interesting, we'll say. It is neat. Now let's have a look at the ranking system on here. So conversation and connection potential, I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5. It's fairly straightforward. Do you have something that matched what is on the discard pile? Yes, play that card. No, draw a card. Very simple. Of course, the more tiles you start adding to the extra rule, it might change things a little bit, but it's very simple. So it's not hard to hold a conversation while you're playing this game. Getting to know you, I'm going to give this one a 2 out of 5. There's not tons and tons that's very revealing. What's interesting is which rule they're going to pick if they win the round. It's kind of like, oh wow, I'm going to pick this. It's like, oh, you made it so difficult. Are you sure you want to pick this? So it's just entertaining and interesting to see which one they'll pick and like sometimes you'll have people that kind of play more trying to discard more or make other people draw. It's just entertaining to see what your partner is going to pick and the extra rules when they get that option. Hurt feelings and conflict, I'm giving this one a 2 out of 5. This is a fairly low-key type game. It's not one that causes a lot of hurt feelings. What can be frustrating is if they've played a monkey and you don't have any monkeys, so then they play another monkey, but now you still don't have monkeys. Now granted, most cards have 2 symbols, so might become to a point where you can. Or if there's a new rule that comes every time you draw or you play a turtle, it skips the next player's turn and you keep playing turtles, so keep skipping them. That's happened before. But still a great game. Here's another picture kind of showing different art that's where like the squid is so entertaining. Like I gotta say, this is such a beautiful game. The artwork is just stunning into it and we are loving it. So we're playing this one lots lately. And that was it for the games that we talked about this month. Now, if you want to follow us on Instagram, my Instagram is Mel's_boardgame_room, and we also have Games and Couples. On Facebook, my Facebook page is Mel and Friends Board Game Room, and we also have Games and Couple Love in the Age of Board Games. And on YouTube, my YouTube channel is Mel's Board Game Room, and we also have Games and Couple Love in the Age of Board Game. So be sure to tune in next month and to see which games that we recommended for the month of December. So bye everybody.